Hi, I'm going to take you through this feedback form real quick. I know it's very, very familiar, but nothing beats having a nice beginning of the week example to use. Okay, so feedback loop for today's synchronous lesson. This section is due before 10:15, so Mr. Surface can take the data from it and use it for the lesson and use it in the lesson. Section 2 is due before 3:30. That's usually at the end of class. You want to finish that up. Okay. So, which parts of the social standard below could you use some help with unpacking? Check all that apply. Ask questions that fit the discussion, whether social or academic. Well, questions I'm good on. Fit and academic, less so. Discussion I do remember from past objectives. Now, for this one here, this changes every day. But this one example here. Oh, down, Miles. There you go, sweet baby. As I was saying, you'll have a different one every day. This is just the example one, but you'll always notice there's like a numbered day, and then underneath that will be the objective. Okay? So, which parts of the standard below could you use some help unpacking? Check all that apply. I will be able to identify an author's purpose and their point of view. Identify, even though Mr. Surface went over it in the past, I could still use some help. I know what an author is. I know what a maybe not. Point of view, I don't quite remember. Objective, objective, subjective, objective, acronym. I know what pi is, but it's in all capitals. So, weighted words, I think I can figure out. Okay. Now, here's a little guide. I just kind of leave in there for you. It takes you very excruciatingly slow, step by step. All right. And now, here is what you do. After you've had a chance to think about it in the question above, I want you to try to put the objective in your own words, even though you haven't had class with Mr. Surface yet to clarify some of the questions you had earlier. So that might look and sound a little something like this. You would take your mouse, put it on Vocaroo.com, and click it. Once it opens, you go down to the microphone and you click the microphone. Once that starts, I find it helpful to go back here because I don't memorize the objectives. Okay, I start with this sentence starter in red here. I should be able to read something and identify, maybe find, I'm not sure, an author's, the person who wrote the text or book, purpose, or like why they wrote it, and their point of view. Now, I know that means first, second, third person, but I don't think that's what it means here. Their point of view might have more to do with, like, I guess what they think. I'm going to have Mr. Surface clarify. Tell the difference between objective versus subjective. That's when I'll be able to tell I'll be successful. I'll have no idea. Use the acronym PI when reading nonfiction text. I like PI, but I don't know what that acronym is or what it means. And weighted words. Maybe important words, I'm not sure. After kind of sussing through it for about a minute or longer or shorter, you would click stop. You would go down to this little thing here that says save and share, and you would click save and share. That'll give you that little thing that you also saw on the slide, right? You go over to these little two boxes on top of each other, and you click it, and then you can copy and paste it right below. Control, which is to the left of Alt and below Shift, and V, the letter V, as in very good job, Mr. Surface. Finally, before class starts today, I want to tell you what type of questions people might ask you in the future about point of view or an author's point of view, right? Or author's purpose, right? So let's take a look. Which of the following quotations from A Simple Act, which I have yet to read, best shows that Jackson's point of view is more subjective than objective? As I talked over lunch, Laura learned about their boy's life. They arranged to meet again the next Monday. Today, Maurice works in construction. He repaid trust by giving her more meaning than her success work ever did. Well, quotations, I'm not quite sure what they're talking about. Best shows, like, is the best example. That I can figure out. I don't know who Jackson is. I know what an author is. I still don't know point of view. I still don't know subjective and objective. Then I'll do my Kami assignment. Usually there's only one to do before class, and it's a relatively longer one, so maybe it'll take me a little longer here on this first day of the week. Let's say I started around 8 and finished around 9. But if I finish all of my Kami assignments that from asynchronous time, I could just put something like not applicable because it's very possible that it might not be applicable. Then I click next. Oh, forgot to put my name, Mr. Surface. Love that guy. All right, now we're in the future. It's the end of class or after class. It is now the end of class or after class. It's the end of class or after class. My teacher told me to do section 2 after his class. What did we do? We just then waited. Then we waited till the end of class. Then class was over. Or at the very end, I found the objective to be my friend. So now it's the end of class or after class. Okay? Now we're going to go through this again, right? Same objective, right? But now I've had class, so I should be able to say at least something a little bit more about it. So what you do is you click Vocaroo again. Then you click on the microphone, and then you go right back to it. I should be able to read something and identify or find an author's purpose. That's the reason they wrote it, and their point of view, their attitude or opinion about what they wrote, right? So if they wrote something that was supposed to inform, they still might have a point of view that shines through. They might be if I had to give you information about how to play the guitar, you'd probably guess that I like playing guitar, possibly, by the end of it. Hey-oh. So I would try to be objective. When people try to be objective, they try to be factual. They try to keep their opinions out of it. Subjective is the opposite, right? When you're being subjective, you are the subject who's giving your opinion. The acronym PI stands for persuade, inform, or entertain, right? Those are the three basic reasons that people have for writing anything. And finally, weighted words. Those are words that really show an author's point of view. They're very emotional or they're very strong words, right? It's one thing to say, that breakfast was good. It's another thing to say, that breakfast changed my life for the better, and I will never forget the breakfast that I ate. That second example, the latter one, weighted words. Okay? Then I would go back here. I'd click stop. Maybe you won't take as long as me. I would click save and share. And then as always, I'll take my little mouse over here. I'll click the two boxes on top of one another. I'll listen to my toddler yell. And I'll insert that and then go see what's going on with him. So now I've gone ahead and I've inserted that link so Mr. Service can listen to it later. Let's see. Feedback survey part 1. Your instructor will use this feedback to help you and your class better master today's learning objective. Rate your understanding of today's objective on a scale below. I'd say I'm in the middle. All right. And that objective there, I'll change that graphic, but I won't say day 13. Anybody else? Boom. I'll be done. All right, and that's how it's done. Whoop.